President Bola Tinubu delivered a strongly worded reform policy proposal to the United Nations on Wednesday at the General Assembly in New York. The president issued a stark warning that the global body must embrace sweeping restructuring or risk growing irrelevance as world events increasingly bypasses its influence. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the president sharply criticized the organization's current record. He pointed to the ongoing suffering in the Middle East and other regions as stains on the collective humanity slogan of the UN and highlights urgent need to change its approach and structure. State House correspondent Anduna Ingia, who monitored the proceedings, reports.
The president's address did not mince words, pointing to the slow pace of progress on critical global issues as the reason why world events are increasingly bypassing the UN. He noted a worrying trend where major decisions are beginning to take place outside the UN's main hall, a sign of its diminishing influence. President Tinubu outlined 4 core demands for an urgent restructure, chief among them a permanent seat for Nigeria on the Security Council.
Nigeria must have a permanent seat at the UN Security Council. This should take place. This should take place as part of a wider process of institutional reform. 2, we need urgent action to promote sovereign debt relief and access to trade and financing. 3, countries that host minerals must benefit from those minerals. And 4th, the digital divide must close. As our friend the Secretary General has said, AI must stand for Africa included.
In his speech, he also expressed deep frustration over the world's stalled progress on issues ranging from nuclear disarmament to ongoing conflicts, including the suffering in the Middle East. Taking a direct stance on the Israeli-Palestinian issue, the president called for immediate dignified action.
This is why we are not indifferent to the devastations of our neighbors near and distant. This is why we speak of the violence and aggression visited upon innocent civilians in Gaza, the illegal attack on Qatar, and the tensions that scar the wider region. It is not only because of the culture of impunity that makes such acts intolerable, but because our own bitter experience has taught us that such violence never ends where it begins. We do not believe that the sanctity of human life should be trapped in the corridors of endless debate. That is why we say, without stuttering and without doubt, that a two-state solution remains the most dignified path to lasting peace for the people of Palestine.
The president further pushed for radical reforms to the global financial system, calling for an international court of justice for money to manage the sovereign debt crisis crippling developing nations.
The government has taken difficult but necessary steps to restructure our economy and remove distortions, including subsidies and currency controls that benefited the few at the expense of the many. I believe in the power of the market to transform. Our task is to enable and facilitate and to trust in the ingenuity and enterprise of the people. But the process of transition is difficult and brings unavoidable hardship.
He concluded his address by warning that if the UN fails to enact real visible change, the path to its complete irrelevance is already predictable. The message from Nigeria is clear: a joint action that must reflect contemporary realities, or it will fail. Anduna Ingia, STV News, Abuja.
Did you know that technical education is free in Nigeria? This was reaffirmed by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, in a statement released on Thursday. The minister further says the government bears the total cost of tuition of technical education in order to guarantee access to all Nigerian children by fully funding all the federal technical colleges nationwide. He stressed that no administrator is permitted to demand extra payment from parents or guardians, adding that circulars have been dispatched to all schools to reinforce the directive.